Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
So I've seen a post by Michael Benson over on Twitter. Of course, he's a writer for TalkSport. And I kind of followed the paper trail and it led to a channel called AB Boxing News. I've never heard of him before, so is what it is. I don't know if they're any good or not. But either way, they interviewed Deontay Wilder and they asked him what are his thoughts on Dillian Whyte finally becoming the mandatory. And this is what Deontay Wilder had to say. I'm happy he's finally the mandatory. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be like Breazeale all over again. When it's time for that fight to come, he's going to be in the fight of his life. I'm going to knock him out silly. So Deontay Wilder's statement. Of course, within the interview, I imagine he goes much more in depth into it. But just based on that little bit there, what's your reaction? Here's mine. So I'm happy that he's finally the mandatory and I can't wait. I can't wait. Right, okay, you can't wait, yet you send Dillian Whyte a personal DM saying how you're going to freeze him out for 2 years. You tell Dillian Whyte, if you want to fight me, you've got to go and fight Luis Ortiz first. If you want to fight me, you've got to fight on the PBC, have a fight on there, and then you can fight me after. If you want to fight me, you've got to put Anthony Joshua in the contract. Yeah, Wilder's never done this to anybody else but Dillian Whyte. And Dillian Whyte's been number one for over 600 days. So this is a time period when Wilder first fought Luis Ortiz. Dillian Whyte was number one. When Wilder fought Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte was number one. When Wilder fought Breazeale, Dillian Whyte was number one. So he keeps on bypassing him all the time and saying how he's not going to fight Dillian Whyte, he's got no interest, blah, blah, blah. But suddenly now he's happy. Now he's excited. Now he can't wait. Have you ever heard such horseshit in all your life? Wilder's petrified of him. He doesn't want to fight him. If you're really happy about it, Wilder, why don't you skip past the Luis Ortiz rematch, a fight that nobody wants to see, and then go fight Dillian Whyte? Why don't you do that then, if you're that happy about it? But you won't do that, will you? Because you're petrified of it. But this is a double-edged sword for you right here. Because now Dillian Whyte is in this position, at some point, you're going to have to face him. There's no more avoiding him, no more anything. But in my prediction, I think that Deontay Wilder, he'll fight Luis Ortiz, he'll blast through him, and then he'll go fight Tyson Fury. I believe Tyson Fury will beat him. But regardless of the outcome with Tyson Fury, whether it's one fight or two fights, Tyson Fury will be Deontay Wilder's final opponent. Even if he beats Tyson Fury, I think that Deontay Wilder will retire. I don't see him fighting Dillian Whyte. That's my personal opinion. I'd love to be wrong. And I've been saying for 2 years now that I think that Dillian Whyte will smash the absolute crap out of Wilder. And he will remove his jaw, break his ribs, face down, arse up, all that kind of thing. I've been saying it for 2 years. But ultimately, the only way I'm going to be proven right or wrong is if these guys fight. And all the Wilder fans who say that Dillian Whyte, he needs to be fighting better opposition and everything. I don't know what planet that you're living on. Clearly, you know very little about boxing. These are the same people who quite clearly don't know about the history of Wilder. Who did he fight? He had 32 fights before he got his WBC title shot against Bermane Stiverne. Who did he fight? His biggest win was Audley Harrison. Okay? So, put that into context. And he got dropped by Harold Scorniers as well. Officially, he got dropped. So, even then, as champion, who's he beaten? Has he been anybody on the level of Luis Ortiz? And don't you dare say Luis Ortiz. Don't you dare say that Luis Ortiz is a better opponent than Dillian Whyte. Listen, regardless of all that, whether you think Wilder wins or Dillian Whyte wins or loses or it's a one-sided victory for Wilder, however you think it's going to go, why don't we just see the fight? Why are we not seeing the fight? Why haven't we seen the fight? Why is it that Wilder keeps making Dillian Whyte jump through hoops, but he's not making anybody else jump through hoops? So why is it suddenly with Dillian Whyte he has to? That should tell you in itself, he's not happy. And he's going to knock him out like he did Breazeale. If you're that confident, then go fight him now. Why did you fight Luis Ortiz for? Nobody needs to see that. What's Luis Ortiz done? He lost to Wilder, had 3 fights since, and looked terrible. Looked his age in those fights. He really did. And now he's going to fight Wilder again? Come on now. Does anybody honestly believe this? Wilder has been begging the WBC, don't make me fight Dillian Whyte, please. Please don't make me fight him. I'm scared to death of him. He's going to hurt me. He's going to knock me out. And WBC, don't worry, don't worry. We'll look after you. Give a cuddle. So go fight him then. And if you manage to defeat Dillian Whyte, congratulations, at long last. You have got a credible name in the win column. Well done, congratulations. I'll be the first to congratulate you. But I honestly believe that Dillian Whyte will smash him. And all the Wilder fans who seem to think otherwise, why? Because Dillian Whyte, he got a flash knockdown against Oscar Rivas. Okay, but you're forgetting the fact that he outboxed a highly decorated amateur and Olympian when Dillian Whyte had little to no amateur experience in himself. 5-6 fights he had as an amateur. The fact that Anthony Joshua stopped him. Okay, Anthony Joshua is a guy that Luis Ortiz turned down and Wilder turned down, even for $100 million. Joseph Parker dropped Dillian Whyte as well in the final round. Again, you're not thinking about the fact that Dillian Whyte went into that fight with a broken rib and a broken hand. So, either way, don't matter how you think this fight is going to go. Wilder, please stop lying. Okay, you're not happy about it. You would love nothing more than for Oscar Rivas to have defeated Dillian Whyte. If you really wanted that fight, you could have done it. But as I said, the double-edged sword for you now is if you wait for the WBC to call that mandatory and you fight Dillian Whyte, you lose. No rematch. Also, negotiations. They don't have to bow down to your negotiations. They can drag it to purse bid, win the purse bid, and drag your ass to the UK. You should have given them a voluntary, which is why I'm saying you should really be fighting them now, shouldn't you? And put a rematch clause in there. Because in a mandatory fight, no rematch clause, and you're coming to the UK. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.